Welcome. Today, I'm going to be taking you through step by step how to apply your Dexcom Stelo CGM. Now, if you are new to CGM, wondering what CGM is, how it works, what are your options, pros and cons of certain sensors, then be sure to check out my previous episode that walks you through everything. I also have a quick start guide to CGM linked in the comments below that's going to help give you an idea of some of your CGM options, including a few tips on what can make your sensor read high or low. So that's a great free resources. Again, linked below. Check out my previous episode or download that free CGM guide. Otherwise, let's get into it. So before we get into the box and get the sensor on, just a few skin prep and position considerations. First of all, for skin prep, ideally you're not getting your sensor wet for 12 hours. So it's perfect if you are able to maybe shower, go on, get everything ready for the day, and then put your CGM sensor on so you've got a good amount of time before you're showering and getting it fully submerged again. So sensors are waterproof. You can swim with them, you can bathe with them, and you don't have to worry about losing them. So this one here, this Dexcom Stelo, this is good for up to 15 days. And thinking about positioning, it is going to be going on the back of your arm, but I always like to ask my clients, how do you sleep? Are you a side sleeper? Are you sleeping on your left side? Are you sleeping on your right side? Ideally, you're going to place the sensor on the arm you sleep on the least, because as you'll see in my quick start CGM guide, one thing that can cause false readings, specifically false lows, is if you are lying on your sensor, that is going to essentially cut off circulation and cause some of those false readings. And we want to minimize that. It happens, no big deal, but just think about positioning. So for me, I tend to be a side sleeper. I sleep primarily on my left side. For that reason, I'm going to put my sensor on my right arm. And if you are particularly muscular or you have a lot of loose skin, we want to try and avoid loose skin or too much muscle. So wherever you need to go on the back of that arm, it could be higher, it could be lower. If you don't want it to be seen, then maybe you're tucking it up a little bit higher, but really no wrong way to position it there. In terms of your skin itself, no lotion. So if you are the type that takes a shower and you're kind of lubing up afterwards, you want to make sure you're not putting lotion on where we're going to place that sensor. So again, ideally, you've showered, bathed, and you've got some clean, dry skin. If your sensor hasn't come with some rubbing alcohol wipes, you'll want to make sure you have that handy to get started here. So let's dive right in. Let's see what we've got in the box. And before you even open this, in case trouble comes up, in case you need to request a sensor in the future, grab your phone here and just snap a picture of the side of your box. That way you have your serial number. Just in case something happens, you want to make sure that you have any of that information in case you need to reach out to the manufacturer to request a replacement. Technology happens, sensors fall off, so it's just nice to have your bases covered there. Once you've snapped a picture of your serial number, we will dive right in. So what is included in the box? You have your applicator and your sensor is preloaded in here. So your sensor is loaded and ready to go. You've got a mile-long thing of instructions. I'm not going to open that up here today. There is also a little start here guide, which will take you through some more of the basics. And then you will also get this overpatch. So we'll save this for the end. This is just going to seal around your sensor and help hold it down. Now, my sensor did not come with rubbing alcohol wipes, but I have got some here. You can use just rubbing alcohol on a cotton ball if you've got it. If you don't have rubbing alcohol, that's okay. I've done this with just clean, dry skin and had no issues. So once you have your arm picked out, for me, again, that is going to be my right arm. grab your rubbing alcohol wipe and then just hit that whole back of the arm here. While that dries, I am going to get my sensor ready. So simply, you're just going to twist this bottom part off. It might twist a little bit hard, and you'll want to avoid hitting that button. That is going to be the ejection, essentially. And my arm is nice and dry now, so I am going to position my sensor and click that button. So I know this part can be a little bit scary. It's the sound, I promise, that's more scary than anything. But you can kind of find that spot on your arm. For me, I'm going to go about mid, maybe a little bit lower than midway. Press that sensor nice and firm, that applicator. And once you've found your spot, you're just going to press that button. And that is it. So it's super simple. I am going to just run my finger along the edge of the sticker to help press that down. I will say sometimes you may have a little bit of blood peep out through the little hole on your sensor. That's totally normal. Apparently, I've read that bleeders are the best readers. I don't know that that's true. Once you've traced around your sensor a couple of times to help that press to your skin, you can go ahead and get out your overpatch, and you're going to peel those clear layers off. So I'm keeping the kind of greenish layer, some static electricity here, okay? And I'm going to carefully just grab by the tip here and put that right over the sensor. So just like you circled the sensor, I'm just going to press that overpatch nice and firm. And then that green layer will peel right up. And now you're just left with your sensor and that overpatch. So if you don't already, you'll want to make sure that you have the Stelo app downloaded on your phone. You can search your app store, or you can use your QR code scanner on your phone app, and that will help pull it up as well. So you will navigate to that Stelo app. I'm going to click into it. And right at the top of the screen, you will see Start New Sensor. You may be prompted to go through the application process, and you can just skip right along until you get to this screen. Then it will ask you for the pairing code. So this is going to read via Bluetooth. And if you do take photo, you can grab that applicator and scan it. And then you should see that start to search and pair. So my code is going to be different than yours. Don't enter that in. And then once you get that Bluetooth request, you'll want to hit pair. And then you should get sensor paired. You hit OK. And then you will see this warm-up screen on here. So your sensor is going to take about 30 minutes to come online. Once you get past that initial warm-up phase, you are going to see your glucose data come in here on your home page and come into that, ideally in that target range. Now, you can adjust that target range. So I typically have my people set their target range from 70 to 140, which oftentimes is defaulted. And for simplicity in terms of reading, you can tap on different hours at the top of your screen. I really like to keep mine at about 3 hours, but say, for example, if you want to look back to yesterday or maybe the day before, once you get more data, it helps to use 12 or 24 hours, and that's just going to change how your glucose data reads. So once you have data coming in, you're going to start to get more insights. You're also going to get a weekly report once you've had 7 days of data in here. But now it's time to start logging. So at the bottom of your screen, you'll see Add Event, and this is where you're going to add meals, activities, notes, if there's particular symptoms that you want to check into. I will say that if you are troubleshooting cravings or energy, that can be really helpful. And if you have your app synced with Apple or Google Health, your activities should automatically pull in. Now, another note, if you are a part of one of my one-on-one or group coaching programs, you're going to want to go in there and connect your data so I'm able to see and troubleshoot with you in real time. So under settings, you will see a list of options, and right at the top of the screen, you're going to hit connections and then Clarity Clinic. And from there, if you hop on over to the resources or my messages to you, you're going to find my clinic code. You enter that in, and then that will help connect me to you so I'm able to see and troubleshoot with you in real time. Just a couple final notes. If you are new to CGM, specifically the Dexcom Stelo, I do have the link to Amazon in the comments below, but I will say that just caution on the reviews. I know we all tend to shop based on reviews. I will say that through resource and my years of experience with CGM, there is a lot of confusion and frustration that can come in reading the data. And unfortunately, that has showed up in a lot of Amazon reviews, for example. So disregard the poor Amazon reviews if you have somebody who's going to help navigate you through this. So if you don't, I'd be happy to be that person. You can check the information below to either apply for one-on-one or some of my group coaching programs, because this is my specialty. I love showing people how they can use CGM to leverage their performance, leverage their eating, lose fat, feel better, whatever your goals might be, I am here for you. And if you're a DIYer, be sure to grab my CGM guide below. You can also register for my free weekly newsletter, where I'm sharing nutrition and CGM tips every week. If you found this video helpful, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions on the Stelo setup or CGM, comment below, and I will be doing a CGM Ask Me Anything episode coming up on my Sugar and Strength podcast very soon. So thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe and like, and I will see you in the next one.